shoulders in there. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. This is like take, I can't even recall how many takes.
27.
So, yeah, 2700. So welcome to Cats Creations live on a Friday night. We're gonna try this again. Are we getting a horizontal view? Yes. Okay, so we're good. So it looks like our Mevo is gonna go back out for service, and I'm still looking at this, seeing if it's straight or not. So
That's pretty straight.
is it pretty straight?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. So that might take us down for, at the rate that Mevo gets things back up and running, it'll probably be another month or so before I get our camera back. But thank you guys for joining us. All right, is sound check okay, and is the video okay? We won't be able to zoom in and out like we have with the normal Mevo in the past, but I at least want to get us through this tutorial so that you guys have a video as promised. I don't even want to get into the whole thing of pre-recording videos, because then that kind of takes away the whole Facebook Live thing. So without further ado, we will make temporary adjustments to this. Can you see comments?
Yeah.
I didn't grab my phone or my tablet, so I can't read anything. So what you're going to need tonight, this is called a wreath on a budget. The reason why it's a wreath on a budget is because, like I said, 3 years ago, I remember what it was like to try to make wreaths, but then keep the cost down. I wasn't able to go all the way out and afford, you know, to be able to spend $30 or $40 on supplies, because I'm thinking to myself, I can't get people to pay that much, plus like a little bit of profit on the back end. So finding ways to do what's called a wreath on a budget helps. So occasionally you'll see me do these, and it's for people who are on a tighter budget, but you still want to turn out a great quality product. So tonight what I'm going to be doing is I'm using leftover Deco Mesh tubing. And the Deco Mesh tubing colors that I'm using is the spring colors that they used to come out with. So the greens, the blues, green, blue, pink, and yellow. Here's the thing. When I went online at Dollar Tree to see, you know, are these still going to be available? Is the quantity still relatively going to be the same? I'm not pulling up anything on Dollar Tree. So I know we have a member in our private group that does work at Dollar Tree. So Jean, if you're watching this video, can you let us know if Dollar Tree is kind of done with the whole flex tubing thing? Because I'm not seeing it when I pull up their Easter supplies or their Easter craft supplies. I'm not seeing mesh tubing, mesh ribbon, Deco Mesh, flex tubing, whatever you want to call it. So in keeping with doing this as a budget, if you're still able to get your Deco Mesh tubing like this in a bag, Dollar Tree sells colored Deco Mesh tubing. This is 36 feet. I know Joann's has started to carry them, but I think the quantity, like how much you get in the package, is so much less. This is 12 yards for $1. So in order to put this project together, you will need, what did we say, 12 packages. So it just depends if you want to do the same colors I did with the green, pink, blue, and yellow. You're gonna need 3 packages of each color. If you can't find it at Dollar Tree, here's the thing, Paper Mart sells it for, I wanna say $1.60 something for 20 yards, and that's probably going to be the next cheapest if we can't get it at Dollar Tree. The reason why you wouldn't go to like Craft Outlet or the Wreath Shop for that is because you're still buying 20 yards, but it's like $6 for a 20 yard, and you're gonna need, what did we say, a grand total of 144 yards to put this together. So without further ado, let's go ahead and make sure that I take care of all the housekeeping issues. If you're new, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. A lot of times you can meet people through a Facebook Live, make a connection. So let us know where you're from. And then that way you might find somebody within the Facebook Live who will tag you and say, hi, I'm in the same city beauty is you, and then that's how you develop your crafting relationships. If you like this video and want to put something together once you get all your materials, just click the share button at the bottom. When you click the share button, it shares this video to your page where it's so much easier to find it. It's what I did when I first started out, so that once I got all my stuff together, I could put together those same designs. If you, let's see, want to be notified when we go live, like tonight, huge broadcasting issue. Who knows, it may just be our internet, because the internet connectivity thing is all over the place. Make sure you click the like and follow button. Rumor has it that Facebook is getting rid of the like button and they're just gonna have follow. So make sure you've done both. This way you can be notified when we go live. Why are you listening?
Just checking.
Okay. He's like troubleshooting, tech troubleshooting. So can you guys give me a thumbs up if the audio sounds good for you and if the sound quality sounds okay?
Audio's fine. A couple of people are saying it sounds low, but it depends on what tablet, if they're on a tablet or a laptop. Laptop's going to be lower, I think. Yeah, and when we had the Mevo, I think there's like 3 different microphones included in there, so I will do my best to speak up for you guys. You will need a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, because that's the frame we're going to build today's design on. Like I said, grand total of 3 packages of 12 packages total. I went 4 colors, so I needed 3 of each color. It's just going to be dependent upon you and what color combinations you want to put together. I am using a really small sign, and I want to say, wow, this is a 7-inch, it's like a 7x4, so very small, because this is not going to be a very big design. The finished product will be 17 inches, and it's going to be about 4 inches deep, so it kind of almost meets the criteria for a storm door. So it just depends on what your gap is between your door and your storm door. Some people have 3.5 inches, some have 4, some have more. So as long as the 4 inches is a criteria, then this one will work for you. YouTube people, make sure that you click, once we get this video uploaded, that you click on the share button, which is in the upper left-hand corner. That goes ahead and will notify you whenever we upload a new video. Before I start, any comments or anything that I need to know about? No, I mean, there's still a lot of gals on. Thanks everybody for joining and sharing your Friday with us. Apologies for the technical issues. Just bear with us. Turn up your volume as best you can.
Yeah, because I'm like, I could literally, in another 3 feet, I could actually physically touch the camera. So that's how close the camera is. It's about 6 feet away from where I'm physically standing. So I'm keeping my social distancing, 6 feet, right? Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make bundles. So bundles, what I mean is you're going to want to make a whole bunch of these. So I'm going to show you how to put these together in bundles. And then you're going to need a grand total of 60 bundles. So if you're looking at the Dollar Tree wreath frame, each section of the Dollar Tree wreath frame will hold 10 bundles. So we need 10 of these to pack in each section, which is where it gives you the grand total of 60 required. So let's show you how to put a bundle together. So the first thing you're going to need is to grab any 3 colors you want. I have my samples. Mine are already done. They're in bundles, but let me show you how to do it. So what I've grabbed here, I don't know why I grabbed 2 blue. I have the green, the blue, and a pale pink. And what you're going to want to do is when you measure these, let me lay one out for you first of all. Let me use my drawer to prop and hold that so it doesn't fall to the floor. When you lay these out, because normally I do them without measuring, but for those of you who want to measure, if you'll notice, your deco mesh tubing will stretch. You don't want to stretch it to do your measurements. You want to leave it in the relaxed state and then just lightly, pull this out. You will need 29 inches to make one set. So if you cut all of your bundles to 29 inches,
or the stuff that you want to work on. So there's my yellow. I'll do the same with the blue. Actually, we'll do the pink first because that wants to hang to the floor. So again, we're not stretching it. We're kind of letting it be really relaxed. 29, and then we'll do the blue to 29 inches as well. So you don't see me pulling it. I'm just trying to get it straight so that I can cut it at the 29-inch mark. And then they may or may not be exactly, you know, even by the time you line them up and then get them ready to go. They're pretty close. I think I did a pretty good job. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with about 2 inches. You're gonna give yourself a 2-inch tail. And then what you're gonna do is make about 2-inch loops. So the 2-inch loop is technically like a 4-inch piece. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is almost 5. So you start getting into the groove of how you want to make your loops. So these are about 5 inches apart. So you just go ahead and you make loops, and then you're going to do another loop. And I'm actually doing these a little smaller. And then we'll do one more. And then you have your tail. So this one's a little longer tail. Here's my pipe cleaner. And then I'm going to use a full pipe cleaner. I find that if you use a full one, it's a little bit easier to tie them onto the frames. And then I'm just gonna trim this to the end, just like so. And so these are the bundles. And so what you'll do is you'll go through and you'll make a grand total, and that's why you need 12 packages to have enough bundles built to put your wreath together. So what I did ahead of time is I went through, I created all my bundles in different colors, like this one is blue, pink, and green. I have one that's blue, pink, and yellow. I have one that's, this is the same, green, blue, and pink. And then I have another one that is yellow, green, and blue. So they're all just a bunch of different colors. And so what I do is I might start with the pink, blue, and green, and use up all of that all together and make, I think you can get about 15 bundles per package. So you have 3 packages, that should yield you about 15. So you'll need a grand total of, what do I say, 60? Mm-hmm. And then you'll be able, once you're all done, then you're all ready to tie them on. So any questions about how to make the bundles? I'll give you guys a moment.
Still a lot of women coming on. They're all, do you do anything else besides bows?
Of course we do. We do
yeah.
everything. I mean, you name it, we've tackled it. This is going on my 4th year that I've been doing this live on Facebook/YouTube. So table arrangements, centerpieces, garlands, corner swags. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of what else. Bows, wreaths.
And there's other videos in the regular group that are on bows.
Yes. There's a lot of bow making videos. I think I have 6. So if you need to, go to my YouTube channel. It's KatsCreationsNMore. And then you can find all the videos.
Jane Hancock-Smith said, no one else in my area carries tubing. Can you order that straight from?
Yes, you can order this from Paper Mart. So what I said is I researched and tried to figure out, okay, Dollar Tree used to carry them, and then as the seasons would change, Dollar Tree would change their colors. So obviously as you got close to patriotic, it was red, white, and silver, red, white, and red, white, and blue, red, white, and silver. Sometimes they had gold. For Easter, it was always pink, green, yellow, and blue. For Halloween, it would change to be black, orange, purple, and green. You kind of get where I'm going. Mm-hmm. But because when I pulled up Dollar Tree, which is normally where we go, they're not showing mesh. I just don't know if they just haven't loaded it to their website yet. So we'll wait and see what we find out. But Paper Mart carries it for the least amount of money. I want to say it's $1.61 for 20 yards, but they're select on their colors. I want to say they probably have about 10 or 12 colors to pick from. Now, if you go to Craft Outlet in the Wreath Shop, you're gonna get a lot more choices, but now for a 20-yard package, you're gonna spend $5 to $6 for the Deco Mesh tubing. So it's a little bit more on the pricier side. So if you can get it at your Paper Mart or Dollar Tree, then this is truly a wreath on a budget. If you have a lot of Deco Mesh like I have left over, this was the reason why I put this tutorial together.
Valerie asks, how do you decide on the colors of mesh or tubing?
Well, this one,
for each wreath.
yeah, this one is strictly for spring and Easter, so I kind of picked the spring colors of pink, blue, yellow, and green. You can go with any color you want. This is going to be great for 4th of July when you can go red, white, and blue or red, white, and silver. It's entirely up to you. Any other questions before I start? Any questions on putting the bundles together?
No, go ahead and start because there's still gals,
Okay. So, what we're gonna do is on our Dollar Tree wreath frame, you have 4 rails on here. So you're only going to be working with the middle 2. We are not using the one on the outside. We are not gonna be using the one on the inside. Just the 2 in the middle is where we're going to be tying and securing our bundles onto. So I think, I forgot what I just did with that bundle I just had. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your bundle and you're just going to start in your section and you're gonna go right between so that you're actually tying onto the 2 middle ones. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's the 2 middle. So I'm gonna flip it over, the 2 middle. We are not going to the outside of either rail. So I find it easier to tie them if you flip it upside down. The reason is because you're dealing with flex tubing, so it's going to bounce back. And you're just going to secure this on 4 or 5 times, and then you're gonna snip your pipe cleaners off. And then I just kind of tuck them down so that you have a bundle tied onto the frame using the middle 2. So this is what it looks like from the front.
Gotcha. Yeah, they could see it when you
and
went
the back.
further.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because it's like I started watching the video from like fall when I did this, and people were like, I can't tell where you're putting those on, and I was like, okay, let's make sure that I really drive that point home. So remember, you're going to fill this section with 10 bundles before moving on to the next section. So you would go ahead and just take another one of your bundles, and because I changed my colors up, I would come over here and grab another one of these, and I'm gonna go right to the middle 2, flip it over, go ahead and secure that on. This way I can make sure that everything is centered. And I'm not gonna tie this, I'm not gonna cut this one off. Oop, and I actually went in the wrong section. I am not even paying attention. Okay. Gonna put it back over here. So we can actually join the one that we had on here. And I try to keep the pipe cleaner centered. Okay, so, because I'm gonna take this one off. So here's our second one, and you're just going to push them forward. Each time you're adding another bundle, you're just going to push them forward. You can keep your pipe cleaners consistently all the same color. I don't know why. I just changed them to match the same color of the Deco Mesh that I'm using. So we're gonna do this and fill the frame. But because I already started one, I'm going to just go voila. So this is how your sections will feel. So I've only done 2, so there's only 24 bundles on, but you can see how thick and how fun this already looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up, and this will give me time to answer any questions that you may have. So I'm just matching my colors as I go around.
Yeah, Michelle said we're having a hard time finding any mesh or ribbons down in Mississippi.
See?
I think it's around the country, most people are.
Yeah, it's like there's such a run on supplies right now.
Roseanne said my Dollar Tree doesn't seem to have it lately. You
See?
can check online and see if you can order it from online.
You can't. I have not been able to find the
So you gotta go
Decomesh
through
tubing.
Paper Mart then.
Yes, Paper Mart is the one that I found that had the best price on the tubing so far.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this one back in.
Roseanne, yeah, show you the different color bundles as she's going through it.
Oh, yeah, I just made them. What I did is I opened up 3 packages of mesh, matched those 2 together, or the 3 together, and I think I started with yellow, blue, and pink. And I ran that out until I finished. And then whatever I had left, I just added additional colors to it and then went through the next 3 colors and the next 3 colors.
Deborah, she is using pipe cleaners because it's easier to attach with pipe cleaners. If you used zip ties, you'd have to zip tie the bundle together and then use another zip tie to go between the 2 frames.
Exactly. So, that's a lot of zip ties.
Yeah.
So here you can see I'm just sliding them around as I make my design. And if your cut pieces come through, just wait until you secure it on your pipe cleaner and then just push those pieces back through. So let's see, I did green, pink, and blue. So now I'm going to, I had these all color coordinated, and now they're all, they're kind of mixed up. Okay.
Or Susan, but I'm assuming it's probably Susan. It could be Ricky. How did you make the bow or each set of loops?
These?
Yeah.
So at the very beginning of this video, I showed you how to put your bundles together.
Right.
So that's kind of like the pre-prep stuff that you're going to do ahead of time. I'll do it one more time because I know that between that and just tying things on, that's how you're going to put your entire wreath together. So real quick, let me show you guys one more time. And then if you guys come in late and you're picking this up, just wait for the replay and then this will reset so you can see how to put the bundles together. So I am looking. Okay. So bundles. You're going to put whatever colors you want together. You're going to need to make 60 bundles to complete this design. So you're just going to start with your 3 colors of flex tubing. So I'm going to work with what I have left. And then you're just going to make, they're about 5 inches loops. So you just go 5 inches. Once you get them going, you can almost gauge where they're going to be. And then you have your bundle. You will cut the ends off. Here's a bundle, so 2 loops each side. You're gonna grab a pipe cleaner. You could do zip tie, but then you're gonna have to come back in and zip tie them to the frame. So once you have these done, that's your prep work. And then you can start assembling them on your frame. So, and they're gonna go on the 2 middle rails. You're going to put those right in the middle. You're not going to use the outer. You're not going to use the inner ring. You're basically taking your pipe cleaner and you're just wiring this on. And I just find that it's easier to do them upside down. So there's 5, and that was blue, pink, and green. And now I'm going to do green, blue, and yellow. And I'm just going to put these on. So we're doing 10 in each section. And then I just snip them off and I just kind of barely tuck the little tail behind and then just push them forward so that you're filling in your sections, and then you'll be able to just scrunch them and then you'll be perfect. So what questions do you guys have that I can answer for you?
Well, what's interesting is there was a gal that said earlier, said that for the last couple of days, people have been having problems with their meatloaves.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. What's interesting is we could stream live into my private group, no issue. It's every time we tried to broadcast live in the the Facebook business page, we were getting shut down.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we can either pre-record, which I hate doing. What's the point of a Facebook Live if you're going to pre-record? Or we just figure out an alternative solution. So we have a ticket in right now with Mevo. So we'll see what's happening. Right now, there really is no substitute for a Mevo and still stream live besides your phone. So I'm trying to think. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's 8. And I'm going to come over here and grab one of my blue, pink, and yellows.
So DT is Dollar Tree. There's a couple gals who use the initials.
Oh, okay.
And then that's an interesting question. Valerie asked, how many wreaths do you make a day, and how long does it take to make each one?
You know what's funny is I was timing myself to see, do I make them faster if I'm not talking? Like on a Facebook Live, could I make them quicker?
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What was the one I was making yesterday? Oh, the carrot wreath. Because you said make 3 bows. So that turned into a very long, lengthy process because I had to make 3 bows on that and not just the standard one that I normally do.
Yeah.
So that one took me a little bit longer.
Edna said a lot of other users on Mevo are having the same issues.
Huh.
So
I wonder if Facebook's changing something.
yeah, I think it's permissions. Something to do with permissions.
Yeah, because
Let's see.
it's interesting because the people that I saw today that were streaming were on their phones, their iPhones,
Yeah.
or their Androids. They weren't streaming from the Mevo. So who knows? We'll just keep trying. I just think it's funny that we can get into our private group and stream, but we can't stream from the Mevo on our page. Lord, please allow another manufacturer to come up with a live event camera. Because that's what people like. They like the HD live event, so we can talk. You can ask questions. Okay, I'm going to try to speed this up. Generally, it takes me, if I have everything brought out and placed here, to, you know, like I've got my sign, I have my mesh, and it's just a matter of cutting materials and assembling, I would say about an hour for an average wreath. If I'm just taking my sweet time and I don't really have a design plan in my head, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna take this mesh and build a base. And now I'm gonna go look and see if I can find a sign that'll go with that.
Oh, Lynn. Okay, so welcome. Lynn Drury said I joined your private group.
Yeah,
How do you find the group? So
yeah, I like emailed you because I've been waiting. Just go to the Cats Creations private group page and just request to join Lynn so I can approve you, or check your email that you used when you signed up for the private group, and then I can get you in. No problem.
yep. And then gals, you know, the biggest question is how many packs of tubing does it take? So I pinned it at the bottom. So it's 12 total packs of tubing
Thank you.
for each wreath. You can do either 3 packs of 4 colors or 4 packs of 3 colors.
Yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, for a spring wreath, you could just go pink, blue, and green and just forget the yellow. You know, if that's all you can find, then go with that, and then realize that you're going to need 144 yards total to complete this design. So the fact that Dollar Tree put them in 36-inch or 12-yard packages just made it easy to go and get them and then put them into bundles.
36 feet or 12, yeah.
Yeah, 12 yards, 36 feet. So I'm just alternating my colors. And see, like I said, sometimes your tails will come through. Don't worry about it until you get the next one on. And then as you're getting ready to push this one forward, you'll push the tails under. So they'll be back on the right side.
These are one of the easiest wreaths for you to make.
They really are. And these are great for kids who, because there's no glue required, and all they're doing is just twisting your pipe cleaners on. So it's really good for, you know, for a kid to assemble these. Maybe
Good
you
question.
make the bundles.
4mm or 8mm?
Well, I like the 8mm tubing, so let me show you what the difference looks like. Hang on just 1 second and I'll show you. I think, see, Dollar Tree back in the day sold them in 8mm packages, which were nice. They were nice, thick, fat. So
Quality item.
yeah. So let me show you. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is the smaller. What is it?
4mm?
I think 8mm. Would it be 8mm? Be smaller?
No.
Okay.
4mm.
So then this is 4. You can see how tiny and skinny it is, and this is the 8. So let me find the end. Lord, where's the end?
Okay.
So you can see that you can almost take this one if the ends were, it's trying to fray right now, but you could literally take this one and put it right inside the other one. I like the thicker ones, but I think the thicker ones, you get them in less yardage. So,
Yeah, she said paper only has the 4mm.
yeah. Well, that was interesting because they did have 8mm earlier when I looked, but it was 8mm was 15 yards, I think, and then the 4mm was 20 yards. So it's just going to depend on what you can find. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get back to what I'm doing. And I need blue. And then we go back to pink. So you guys are asking great questions. Whoever thought that Deca Mesh would come in thick,
Tubing,
yeah, thick, because they only used to come in one size, and now they're thicker thin. I prefer the thicker. So you gotta push those down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And for gals who didn't watch her make the loops, you can go back at the end of this. We'll post it to the. It'll automatically post to the group, and you can go back and watch the beginning. And she shows you how to make the loops.
So see how I'm basically building this whole thing upside down?
Yeah.
Because the flex tubing is keeping it elevated. I don't have to push down on it. All I'm doing is just twisting these on, snipping them off, and then pushing the little end back down. Oop, I need pink. And then I think this fills 5, 6, 8. I need 2 more in this section.
10 in each section.
10 in each section. So 60 bundles total. However you want to do it. I think it would have been easier for me just to pick 3 colors and just stick with it, because then I don't have to alternate like the colors of my pipe cleaners, the colors of my bundles.
You can do them all one colors, like she said, all white or.
It'd be
pick
much
one
easier
color.
to do it that way. So I got 1 more to get in here.
She will do a bow on the front.
A very small bow. So watch when I get this. I only have 2 more sections to get through. So I think it takes 10 minutes to get through each section. So there's that one. Now we go blue. And then yellow. So we're into section number 5. And it's going to be entirely up to you. If you find that the deco mesh tubing you're using is thinner, you might want to add more bundles. But this, doing the 60, and I know it sounds a lot. Great. Nope, pink. It just makes for a really full wreath. And then that way, these bundles will cover the outer 2, the inner and the outer. Because as you can see right here, it's completely covering that inside ring. Same thing with the outside. Yellow. green here.
Valerie, no, you don't need to glue the pipe cleaners in the back because once really you have everything in each section, they stay where they're at. They're not going to move.
Yeah, once you, because you're kind of stacking them. It's kind of like doing a bubble wreath, but you're doing the bundles, and those are just stacking up and filling in. So you can see, and I'm twisting these on there fairly tight when I get it going, and then I'm just pushing them forward. And then I have blue, pink, yellow.
Roseanne, so yeah, it's going to be a little more expensive for paper mart. Because obviously the Dollar Tree, they're $1 per pack.
For 12 yards.
For 12, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, what are we getting? Well, because you can get 20 yards for $1.61 at Paper Mart, so that's not bad.
No, it's not.
You know, it just depends. They're pretty limited on some of the colors, though. So, pink.
If you bought the deco mesh tubing from Craft Outlet, yes, you'd be paying
It'd
much
be
more.
very, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you'd have to charge accordingly, but you get a lot, you have a wider variety of colors to choose from. Like these are just basically, I think when Dollar Tree came out with them, you only had 4 choices for the whole spring. And then that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Thank you, good question. She said, Kat, are you self-taught? We learn a lot from you. Do you have a cat that you get inspirations and training from?
No. Honestly, I'm like you guys. I spend a lot of time researching designs on Pinterest. And then when I find something I like, I just take the time and break it down in my kitchen and figure out how is it made? How can I change it? How can I make it, you know, a little bit more cost effective? And then,
Or a lot of times just come up with their own design.
yeah. Most of the designs, like if it's just a regular deco mesh design, it's just something I've created. But stuff like this, we did this in spring last year, and then we incorporated it for fall. We did a fall one, but I was like, oh, we need to incorporate this again because so many of the designs are great items for a budget conscious person. 5, hold on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And I can honestly say that from just watching Kat every day, she will make at least 1 to 2 wreaths a day. Sometimes, you know, she won't
At
do
least
any,
one.
but at least 1 a day. On the weekends, she might not do any, but like on a Saturday. But most of the time, she's making 1, sometimes 2 a day. Well,
Here's the thing, right? If you're selling wreaths in your shop, you have to continue to stock. So let's say, for example, you make 5 spring wreaths and you sell those 5, you need to get back in it and backfill your stock. It's not like we as wreath makers can just, you know, call up somebody and say, hey, I need to get, you know, more inventory in my shop. We are the inventory makers. So we have to keep our store, you know, stocked, because you don't want customers, you know, going into your shop looking for spring or Easter wreath and you're like, sorry, I sold those. I'm moving on to my next holiday. You want to make sure you have more than enough to pick from.
Jim said, Kat, thank you. The closest craft store and Dollar Tree store is over 2 hours away. I'll have to order them.
Okay.
No problem, order it. And then Kathy Richardson said, I just ordered 3 colors, 4 packs each, $20 total. So that's a good price. That's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad.
really not that bad. Honestly, it's not.
Valerie, yeah, she said, thank you for always explaining things. This wreath would be great for a baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
Or spring, and it'd be great on a storm door because it's thin, right? The
Yes.
bow would be a little bit thicker, but yeah, it's pretty thin.
And you don't have to put a bow on it. It's entirely up to you, you know, how you want to finish off your design. And that's the beauty, that's the fun part for us as designers, I think, is we get that joy of being able to come up with a design that works for us. Or I was so sad to see the one wreath sell yesterday, the carrot one, because it's just, you put so much time and effort and love into it, and you're like, oh, this is a really good design. And then obviously people think so too. That's why it sells. And then you're like, oh, I have to start all over again.
Jenny, that is true. You could cut the 12-inch pipe cleaners in half.
Yes, you
can.
can.
You could definitely do that. You get more life out of your pipe cleaners.
You would. I need that because my hand strength isn't where it used to be. So having a little bit more pipe cleaner to work with just makes it easier for me. And then you have to be super careful because the Dollar Tree wreath frames, those welds on the underside, sometimes, I don't know what they're thinking or how they cut it, but sometimes the ends can be sharp. So just be cautious of that when you're working with the underside, that they get sharp.
Laura, believe it or not, she doesn't really spray her wreaths with any type of like E6000 spray glue.
I will.
Right, she will. Most of the time she doesn't, but she does ask like if the customer has like a patio, as long as it's covered and it's shaded, you don't really need to.
I do on the jute. It just depends on the materials that I'm using. So if I'm starting to notice a lot of frays, I will spray it with the E6000 adhesive spray to kind of help lock those fibers in a little bit. Just to keep them from fraying. Here, you don't really need to do anything because it's just deco mesh tubing. So we're almost finished. I'm just tying the last couple ones on. So these will be the last bundles that I have.
You said you do awesome work. You can't tell that you're having issues with your hands. Also saw a pic of your daughter. She is gorgeous.
Like which one? It's either Kaylee or Caitlin. I have two. I have an old.
I'm sure they're both brunettes now. I was going to say one's blonde, one's brunette, but now they're both
Yeah, Kaylee changed her hair color, so now
short
she's
brunette.
Yep. But thank you, I appreciate that. The one thing I can tell you is making wreaths every day, it helps you get that hand strength back.
Lynn said, I made one for myself, and my friend walked in and bought it. It was tough to let it go.
Isn't it sad? You're like, no, okay. They're like your kids. And then I didn't even realize, but when, this is the thing about wreath makers, we order supplies and sometimes it's a week or two before we get those supplies in. I didn't realize that I had found a ribbon to actually match the carrot wreath that I did. And the carrot ribbon came in today. I was like, I have to order another sign. So I have 3 more bundles and then we're done. So as you can see, it's getting pretty thick as you get into your last section and you're pulling all those in. And it's weird to see you construct a wreath upside down because everything that we're doing to secure these bundles to the frame has to be done on the underside.
Wow, Jane said Paper Mart has outrageous shipping. My order was $42 and the shipping was $30.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes it just helps to shop around a little bit.
Yeah, just keep checking Dollar Tree. If you guys have Dollar Tree around, you just keep picking up, a couple packages at a time. You'll build up your inventory.
Well, and see, this one is from fall, but I can give you the SKU number on this one, but I doubt it's going to come up in Dollar Tree's website because this is their fall deco mesh color. This is that moss green, but it's 275914, and it just comes up as mesh tube is how it's listed. And I think when you order them, it's not per color, it's per case. And if I'm correct in my thinking, when you order them like this, you get whatever colors come in it. Like you can't just order like all green because the SKU number is the same for all of them.
Awesome. Jenny said, found some orange tulips at Walmart. Thought I would try to make a carrot.
Yes, carrots. You know what? Maybe I'll be doing that. I have another wreath. What is it? Budget wreath that we're doing on Sunday evening. Crossing our fingers, hoping the cameras work. Here's the last one. So I'm gonna squeeze this one right in here.
Jenny, yeah, purple would probably go good for spring if you had like pink
In here?
and blues and yellows or greens with it. Yeah, yeah, purple would go good.
Is it a lavender color purple or a dark purple? 3. Okay, last one.
I think she said she had it from Halloween, so it's probably the dark purple.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I think I have the dark purple too. But now you're just gonna take them and do this. So we're gonna scrunch them all. But here's the fun part, right? So if you have some tails that are sticking out that obviously look a tad too long for the inside, just go ahead and trim those down. I have a couple. I just don't like them sticking out quite so far. So I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a haircut on the inside, like these. So that, watch, when I hold this up, look how thick that is. And it's super pretty too. So what you could do on this, leaving it like this, is you can use this as a centerpiece. So you could take this off, because I have a candle in here. You could do this. So I'd always advise that if you're going to use an actual lighted candle with deco mesh or anything, use the hurricane glass with it. This is from Hobby Lobby. It's like $7, and then you can put whatever candle you want in it. You could put a cake plate in the middle for like spring or Easter dinner, and put like, if you do a cake or do pastries, you can have this all festive, you know, done for the holidays. So you can do a centerpiece with it if you're not going to use it for as a wreath. But since we are going to be using this one as a wreath, but I always tell the customer, you could take the sign off that we're going to be using on the inside, remove the sign, I'll leave the pipe cleaner on it, and then you can just have the bow there as like the center part for your table arrangement. So we're going to make a small bow. Can you grab my bow dabber? I thought we grabbed it. I think we forgot in the midst of technical difficulties. Oh, it'd be so nice if you could Google things like that. Hey, you know, is the world having issues with their Mevos? So anything you have something just a little longer than you want sticking out, just give it a trim. So I'm going to use, get that, this teal colored gingham. I'm going to use a pastel stripe, and then I'm going to use the pink polka dot. I think I'm going to break it up like that, break some of that pink up. So this will be our bottom bow. So I'm going to do something really simple. So to determine your bow length, you're just going to basically come up to your wreath and then just look and see how far do you want your tail to hang down. Obviously you don't want your tail way down there. We don't want it to hit the bottom.
I have to pull it back a little bit.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm liking my bow length here. No more than halfway down for the tails. So this is going to be 7 inches. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, and then I'm going to go from the wired side, or from the folded side, I'm going to actually take my scissors and cut towards the front of that point. So depending upon how far down you bring your scissors will determine how deep your little V is on your ribbon. So I think we said 7 inches. So Bo Dabra, wow, look at that.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it. So we're gonna start all over with that. So dovetail again, wired edges together, cut from the fold to the outside. And that one still, should have probably just recut that because it was not a straight V.
I'll take a go.
What's that?
Gail said, I like the fact that you do different wreaths and do value ones also. So glad I joined your group. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jenny said, please make a carrot. They were 97 cents a bunch, and the lavender is a little dark.
Where did you get your carrots at? I'm kind of curious. Because I'm like,
I think she's talking about tulips to make the carrot.
yeah, 97 cents a bunch. Mine were like $1.99 a bunch.
Well, she's the one I think she said she found them at Walmart.
Oh,
So we
okay.
might have to go look.
Well, somebody said that they have the lamb's ear. So when I went to Walmart, no lamb's ear.
Mm.
So, I'm gonna go with 4.5 inch loop because this is a smaller bow. Normally I would go like 5 to 6 inches for the base loops, but we're gonna keep this one small and tight. And then we said 7 inches.
Dollar Tree does have carrots. Thanks, Jane.
Jeans on?
No, Jane.
Oh, Jean's on. Okay. Yeah, I'll message Jean and ask if she knows anything about the mesh tubing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Michael's has the tulip bunches for $1.99.
Now, so
Yeah.
go online. And also, I found this out, which I wish I would have known. If you're over 55, you get the senior discount and get an extra 10% off. And yes, that applies on sale. So, yeah, one of the members of the group told me that. She's like, did you get the extra 10%? I was like, what? What do you mean extra 10%? She goes, yeah, you get the senior discount. Probably because I don't think of myself as a senior.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
Not in my eyes, you're not.
Oh, well, thank you. Some days I feel like a senior. Today with the technology issues, seriously, I just wanted to.
The sad thing is we got frustrated, so frustrated. We wanted to choke each other, but it wasn't really
We
anything
weren't
to do
choking.
with us.
No, it's
Ugh.
just, okay. It's trying to figure out where's the issue. It's like if I can broadcast on a private group but not the page, it has nothing to do with our equipment, it has everything to do with Facebook. So the problem is, how do we get on Facebook?
Yeah.
Because we need to get on Facebook. See, we all have those days.
And normally the Mevo cam is great because it allows us to be able to zoom in. The microphone's good.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on it again.
Yeah.
So I do have this to remind you, if you guys were thinking about signing up for the Wreath of the Month group, we just started that this month. So we're working on our first design in February. It's a religious Easter wreath. So it has a cross and it has a lamb in it. But to join that group, it's $10 to join. What you get for the $10. You get a detailed materials list that will give you all the SKU numbers and where everything came from should you want to replicate it later. You get an exclusive kit that is designed by a particular vendor that is putting the kits together for us so that we don't have a ton of kits, you know, like 500 kits going out to people and then you have 500 of the same wreaths being created. So the $10 gets you the detailed materials list and you get the link to the video live once we're finished so that you'll have that forever even after you leave the Wreath of the Month group. So that video link technically is yours.
Yeah.
And then you have the option to purchase the kits, and the kits are gonna vary in price. This one's a little higher, but it includes shipping. It was $75, but your ribbon rolls are double ribbon rolls. So they're 20-yard spools. And then you get everything in the kit. You get the frame, you get pipe cleaners, you get the ribbon. There's 3 rolls of ribbon. There's a 2.5, 2 1.5 inch 20-yard rolls, and then 2 rolls of deco mesh and the sign. And then everything's going to be delivered to your door by February 22nd with all of God's blessings. that it all shows up like it's supposed to. And then we put the entire thing together on a private live where everyone's going to work together and put it together and ask any questions you have. And then that's something that we're doing just for people who are just starting out. So if you're interested, go to Kats Creations Wreath of the Month page. From there, it will give you all the links of how to sign up for the payment and then how to request to join the private group. Now here's the thing, the deadline to order the kit is tonight. You can still join the group tonight and then just watch the video for this month. You'll still get the materials list and the link. You just won't be able to order the kit because we're cutting the kit deadlines off on the 5th. That way it guarantees, you know, worst case scenarios, weather delays, whatever, in order to guarantee that you'll have your kit in plenty of time for the live. And then the lives will always be the last Saturday of the month where we sit and kind of co-create. And then the kit for March is going to be a ladybug kit, which I totally love. So I can't wait to share that one with you. So, okay, I did my plug. All right, so super simple. I just did 7.5 inch tails, 7-inch, then I did 4.5-inch loops on the pink and the gingham, and then a 4-inch loop on the little plaid or the striped. And so now I'm just gonna secure this with the pipe cleaner, and then we'll attach this to our bow and fluff, or wreath and fluff. Just like this. And since we know where our frame is, adding this to the frame is super simple. So we're just gonna go right down into the middle. We're just gonna add this to our frame. We don't wanna go all the way to the frame. And we need all of our loops to be down towards the center. So we're gonna just move everything down, just like this. So here's all of our loops. And then now we're gonna mix up how the loops are going through the wreath, because I don't want like the polka dots all at the bottom and then the gingham. So I just switch up the placement of the polka dot and the gingham. And then we're going to make sure all of our loops and our tails are all nice and pretty and fluffy. Just like so. So there is our bow, and then we're gonna go ahead and add this really super simple Happy Easter sign. So we are going to remove the center.
Oh. Jenny, yeah, Kat said you can still join the Wreath of the Month Club tonight. You won't be eligible to get the kit though, because it's too late to order the kit.
Unless
but you will
order,
get the link.
Unless you order it tonight.
Oh, okay.
Midnight tonight is the deadline, which is what I agreed to for her, because I understand, you know, we're gonna have like people go, well, I didn't get a chance to do it. So she was like, can we just please make sure the deadline is the 5th? So yes, you can sign up. I will go ahead and approve your request to get in the group, and then as long as it's midnight California time, you'll still be able to order your kit.
So I'll try to recap really quick while she's doing this.
Go ahead.
There's a couple guys who asked for it.
Okay.
So she used 12 total packs or bags of deco tubing. Each bag is 10 to 12 yards. She bought 3 bags of each, 3 packs of 4 colors for 12.
3 green, 3 blue, 3 yellow, 3 pink.
Yep. And as she's doing it, she's using all 3 in the same hand. She's making her loops 5-inch loops, and it's 2 loops on each side, so for a total of 4 loops. Mm-hmm. She ties it together with a pipe cleaner. You can cut the pipe cleaner to 6 inches. She ties it together, and then she ties it to the middle 2 frames of the Dollar Tree wreath frame. There's 6 sections in each wreath frame, and there's 10 per section. So it's going to be 60 bundles total.
And I am going to change what I'm doing. Let me find, because I don't like how
Since I have the biggest issues with tying the bow out and making the bows that come apart, any advice for this? Use thicker floral wire or pipe cleaners?
Yes. How interesting. I don't have my needle nose pliers in here.
You know?
Nope. I'll just use these though. Which is interesting. It's like, where's my needle nose at? So when I remove, because right now, maybe I'll just add it here. I was thinking about putting it underneath the bow, but now I'm thinking that the tails are gonna just get in the way of the sign, so I just might add this off to the side.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And then just change my loop, bring my loops over to the side. So let's just make it swag different. This is what happens when you're designed. You're like, let's change that. So now we'll readjust our bows so that it's hanging to the side. Let's fluff everything. So yeah, the secret to a good bow is good ribbon, thick rib. And then in order to make it tight so it won't come apart, it's gonna be, I use a pipe cleaner because I can get a really good grip on that. Let me see.
Suzanne or Roseanne, we've had this sign for a long time. Do you remember where the sign's from?
Joann's.
Joann's, okay.
From 2018.
Yeah.
Because I just pulled the tag off of it earlier and I was like, where did I get this sign from? A lot of times I get everything at the end of the season. So let me get one side in. And of course it wants to roll around.
Like I said, I'm going to try to make one of these. That's awesome. That's what she hopes you guys get the inspiration to do.
That's what we hope, right? This sign is going to be the bane of my existence. So I'm trying to get it settled in one spot, and then as I'm trying to tighten it, it rolls to the side. So now I've got that side on. Now I can get this side. Things that don't happen when you're doing this by yourself and you're not on a live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I can move my bow around. So I'm just going to take it and spin it, fluff it. I think what I want to do, believe it or not, is move my bow closer to the sign. I don't want to move my sign. Okay. So what I'm going to do is pick up my bow.
She's showing you how to rework things just to make them better for you.
I'm like, I don't like it where it was. So I need my bow.
To cover up the little top, yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm just now trying to get my pipe cleaner down. Because this is probably where I've added the thicker bundles. There we go. Mission accomplished. There we go. So now we can fluff. So this.
Yeah, no, those are her cutters. Those aren't her pliers. You said, I think your pliers are on your right. Yeah, those are her cutters.
These are my cutters. I have needle nose, so they must have spread their legs and walked away. Steve.
No, I haven't used it for anything.
I'm just kidding.
I'll go back and look in the garage.
That's probably where they are. We probably used them. So I'm going to cut these down so that my sign is not impacted. So I'm going to make it just a little shorter. And we'll do these ones as well. And then I'll show you what it looks like all hung up.
Janice, where do you sign up for your Wreath of the Month Club? I couldn't find it.
So email me. Or just go to It's Cats Creations Wreath of the Month group is to join the group, but to sign up on the link, it's going to be Cats Creations Wreath of the Month page. There's a page and a group. So I think one has a purple banner and the other one has a green banner. Okay, I was going to say, here's another pink. And we're still in website production. We're going to get all that to where it's all in one place. There we go.
Yay.
Pretty bows. See? All done. So that's what we have created. Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're kind of giving me this look like,
That's
does
great.
it not look good? Okay. So let me show you what it looks like on the door. So I would leave the sign pipe cleaners out so the customer can see that if they want to take the sign off. Because as you can see, you can move the bow around. You could totally take it and turn it to the outside if you wanted to use it as a centerpiece and just let the bow be like that front facing centerpiece. I have a really long pipe cleaner. Or not pipe cleaner, but piece. Okay. So this is going to be challenging, Steve. Will you be able to see it?
They can see it, but it'll be really hard to zoom in.
Okay.
But yes, they can see the door.
I know. I was like, I can see it just barely. So let us flip this around so we can see the colors. And the sign just says "Hello Easter" with a little rose on there.
Yeah, I can't really zoom in.
You kind of did it quick.
I tried, but it starts to cut the wreath off.
Okay, so that's what it'll look like on an average 36-inch door. So it's, like I said, a little bit smaller. And then of course, because we're filming this inside, you're not seeing that metallic sparkle that you're gonna get if you see that in a daylight. So this is just overhead fluorescent, so you're kind of missing the colors that you see. Do you want me to pull it forward?
Yeah, you can.
So.
Pull the whole door forward.
Yeah, so that's what we created today.
Yep.
Well, you can do it from your phone.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any questions that I can answer for you? Thank you very much for being super patient today with all the lovely technical issues. But that's just part of doing business in an online world. Technology. We've got to love it and hate it sometimes. All right.
Okay.
So, thank you guys for joining me. I will talk to you soon. Private group. Don't forget, Sunday, we are making a curl deco mesh base. We're covering that in our Back to Basics class. And then Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we are doing another Wreath on the budget. So I'm going to...
Public group.
In the public group. So hopefully we'll have our camera issue fixed by then. But thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.